me and you both being California natives, Temecula, San Bernardino, SB, Inland Empire.
SB, Inland Empire.
All the way. Not really anymore, sorry. I got a North Carolina state license.
Me too, I just got a new license, yeah.
Awesome. So you're permanent now.
I'm permanent, yeah.
So North Carolina or California?
I would say for racing wise, because I do race, I love being in North Carolina. If I wasn't racing, I do like being in California. I feel like one thing about North Carolina that lacks is the food. When you're like the food that I like. If I'm like a healthier food, like I like eating at like those kind of like one-off healthy places, and there's not many of those.
Right.
And everything closes here at 9 p.m. And I hate it because like I wake up around 7-ish, and then I don't go to bed till like 1 in the morning. So I don't usually eat dinner till like past 10.
Right.
Because we're always doing stuff working at the shop. And so trying to like find something to eat, it's like your only option is cook out at McDonald's. And I'm like, dude, I can't eat this every night.
And then you have all the kids from Mooresville High School and their lifted trucks.
All of them, they're lifted trucks, yeah.
So, speaking of food, what are the California go-tos?
Acai bowls.
Really?
Love them. I will live and die. My last meal, I want it to be an acai bowl.
So, you have 2 brothers.
Yes.
Hudson and Hayden. I've met both of them.
Yes.
I've had the pleasure of talking to Hudson.
The conversation was probably pretty short.
It was really short.
He's a short and sweet kid. Like, you'll get a couple words out of him, and next thing you know, he's running, trying to jump on a cow. Like, that's just Hudson. He's reckless.
So which of the brothers gives you a bigger headache?
Hudson.
Yeah?
Hayden used to. He used to get on my nerves, but he's 15 now. He's definitely matured a lot, and me and him are a lot closer because of that. Like, before I moved here, we would always hang out every single day together. Like, he would come to the mall with me. We would always go out to eat together and just do everything together. Like, he would hang out in my room, and we would just, like, laugh and joke and, like, social media stuff. And so he's matured a lot, and I think that's brought us a lot closer together. He used to be a crazy kid growing up and super pesty, but me and him are pretty close. Hudson just wants to get on your nerves, and he claps back quick. Like, he is constantly sarcastic, saying stuff, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna smack you here in a second.
You've had a few nicknames in the past.
Yeah, sadly.
Dirt Princess being the number 1.
Oh gosh, I hated that. I hated that so bad growing up, and it sucks. It still sticks.
So we shouldn't call you the Dirt Princess anymore. But if you had to give yourself a nickname, what would your nickname be?
Oh man.
Like if you're a rapper and you had to have a rapper's name, what would it be?
Oh, that's a hard one. I've never been asked that question.
It's tough.
I feel like it's hard to give yourself nicknames. What would you give me as a nickname?
Oh, should have thought of this question actually before we did this interview. I don't know that though. I mean, it's tough. I mean.
Oh, my little, we just did a YouTube video of like going through old videos from when I was a little girl. And I was a very chunky little girl, very chunky. And so now my boyfriend calls me Little Debbie. Always says I was really, my best friend was Little Debbie. I was like, you know what, okay, I enjoyed food.
Obviously, your dad's Brian Deegan. And growing up, I mean, obviously your dad is Metal Militia. Growing up, I wore Metal Militia stuff all the time. Yeah, so this is
I'm noticing that a lot of racer guys did.
Yeah,
and it's
so
funny.
This is very
I had your dad's poster, and I was like, what?
Yeah. Like I had his, they had like, I don't know if you would call them Matchbox, but the motorcycles that they made.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I had one of his motorcycles. And so it's actually very weird just sitting here talking with you about it. But obviously your brothers race dirt bikes, your dad did it, and then you did trophy carts. Trophy carts. So how did that journey turn into NASCAR?
Honestly, starting out, my dad was so heavily involved in motocross, and I was the first kid. I wasn't a boy. And so it wasn't like automatically pushing me into motocross. And I feel like when it comes to riding dirt bikes, you have to be very physically strong. And I feel like I'm a decently strong girl. I work out a lot. But I'm not male strong. I'm not like just genetically.
You don't want dude arms.
I do have dude arms, like genetically from my dad, but I feel like I'm not as capable as most guys are, just naturally physical strength. Like naturally a guy's gonna be able to bench more than me no matter what, pretty much. And so that's something like my dad was like, hey, and I'm short, I'm 5'4", not a very big girl. And so for me, it wasn't gonna be a good career path for me going to motocross. It was kind of like almost beating a dead horse because there's not I mean, it takes so much physical strength. And so once he made the transition, which it was perfect timing, from freestyle motocross to off-road racing, I was just about to turn 8 years old. And I went to his first race back in 2008, and I saw these like trophy trucks that these little kids are racing. They were like 8 to 16 years old, and I was like, I want to do that. I was a little kid to beg for everything, firstborn kid, spoiled. And so I was like, I want it. I was like, I have to have it. I have to do this. There's other kids doing it. And they ended up getting me one when I was 8 years old, and I fell in love with it. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, I started winning off-road races and championships. At 15 years old, I was already peaking. And I was like, I can't peak in my career, and I don't even have a license yet. Yeah. And so that is when I got picked up by a manufacturer and like tested, and then I got into stock racing.
Wow.
And here we are.
That's funny.
In the middle of pasture.
That's actually really cool. In the
middle of pasture.
You raced on the SRX Tour. How was that? Honestly, like, because for me growing up, I loved watching old NASCAR races growing up. So to be able to compete with legends of the sport, what was that like?
And it's funny because like obviously being involved in the NASCAR world, you would think like, oh, you've talked to Tony Stewart many times, like I'm with Ford, but I've never talked to him before. And being in that SRX series, I got to have so many conversations and like be able to talk to him about setups of cars, which I never thought I'd be able to do. Like honestly, that's like a bucket list thing. Be like, talk to Tony Stewart about what setup he's running and different things like that. And so just having those conversations, like I never would think me and Bill Elliott would be cracking jokes with each other. And those are like certain situations like, wow, truly a bucket list series that I was able to race, and I was so fortunate to get asked to race that. And just being involved with it, it was such an amazing series that they put on. Like the hospitality, oh my gosh, you had your own like Camping World camper. Like you were in there chilling, like super nice. They had a full like buffet for you, like three times a day, like any drinks you wanted. Like they had everything, like coffee, everything. I was like, this is amazing. I had a golf cart taking me around everywhere. Like I get into the NASCAR races, I can't even get into the pits with my car because they're so strict.
How has the sport changed you since you started your journey?
I think it has made me a lot more mature than I was, which I don't think I was immature, but I think I was definitely
more cognizant of what you...
I don't know what that word means, so I'm not going to use it. I said more mature, not intelligent. And so I would say it's made me more business savvy, and I'd say I was already pretty good at talking. I've always been a decent talker, good at talking at cameras. Yeah, I do like to talk, as you can tell. That's why I'm here. And so I've always been pretty good at talking, but it's made me more invested in the business side of things and fall in love with that side of building an empire and maturing. Even at 20 years old, like some of the stuff, I'm like, I feel like I'm like 40 over here. Yeah. Like having to make smart money decisions, business decisions, even image decisions of, hey, you have this brand that hits you up to do these things. Like I had this one brand that hit me up and I was like, I can't ruin my image and lose the respect of my business side to be with just a brand to get quick money. Yeah. And so I feel like that's where I've matured.
The Hailie I've always seen or hung out with was, you know, the one that just was full of energy and it was crazy. Yeah. And I feel like I say I'm still a little reckless. Well, I was more reckless, but not in a bad way, but I've kind of like, it was reckless like everywhere, and now it's like reckless but in a circle. It's like has boundaries. It's growing up. It's you know, I know I've gone through my Facebook and I was like, I posted that when I was 12. Like, who gave me a phone? I went back through my old archived Instagram stories and I used to post. I was funny. I know it doesn't sound humble, but I make myself laugh on my old Instagram stories. I was like, oh my gosh, I posted that. It's just funny, like. So funny things, like not bad at all. But like some things people be like, why did you post that? But like I don't know, it's just my personality. I'm different, I guess. Yeah. Everybody's got to be different. I think that is the message of today's episode. Be unique, be yourself. So thank you for coming on. No problem. Thank you for tuning in again to Pasture Thoughts, brought to you by Railblaza. I'll see you guys in the next video. We're gonna go ride some cows. Cow tips.